Hello, this is Real High Rock, and this is Let's Play Total Annihilation. Last we left off, we had just defended the Moho Metal Mine on Thalassian. Now let's hear the narration for this particular mission.
With armed presence once again firmly rooted on Thalassian, the commander began dispatching scouting teams in search of further objectives. They were successful. A squad of PT boats discovered energy patterns matching those of the core galactic gate emanating from one of the northern islands. The island was heavily guarded. It would not be taken easily.
I just noticed that it made a reference to PT boats. You guys may remember that JFK served aboard a PT boat. Here they're also just called a skeeter squad, but he said PT boats. I never noticed that till just now. Alright, this is actually a very long mission, so I'm going to go ahead and start this particular mission. As usual, I am on medium difficulty. And so this is a slow mission. I'm going to explain the map real quick, although it's going to be hard to see. At the very top, there's an island with a gate. Around it, there's a squad of warlocks and a couple of shipyards. There's two islands on the side. And here we are at the bottom. At the bottom, we have this small map and this small island, another island to the right that has a geothermal vent to it. So we must, in this order, build metal mines and build some solar panels on this particular bottom island, this home island, and start construction of a ship constructor right here. I'm going to go ahead and start that. And you probably didn't know you could do that, did you? Yeah, you can pause and issue commands. We're going to burn parts of this island and then use our D-gun to clear it out. We're going to build some metal mines and some solar panels, and then build 5 groups of 9 tidal generators on this side, and then build 9 metal makers on the 16 metal makers on the bottom, and then start building 2 more shipyards, build lurkers, which are submarines, an advanced shipyard with a millennium, so we can 2 millenniums, so that we can pound people from afar. There's just a lot to do in this mission. I'm going to go ahead and just start it. There's no easy way to do this mission. I'm going to have to get these guys to start fires to make a lot of this stuff easier. And I'm going to have this guy come down and reveal the fog of war. Go ahead and get my skeeters down here, and these skeeters down here. We will be attacked by an amphibious squad of tanks here in a second. Come on. You may be wondering why I'm setting these on fire. The truth is they're actually a lot easier to destroy this. They're a lot easier to reclaim once they're burnt. Well, not reclaim, but actual just destroyed. I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Once again, I do want 4 solar panels. Many in this case, so I can use this D-gun over and over and over. Alright, now that we have most of this revealed, this guy's pretty useless actually. The main thing you got to do is you just got to get construction up and running. I mean that really is what you have to do in this mission. There's no other way to say it. Now, this is me D-gunning. You've seen me D-gun before. Remember, D-gun leaves no residue, so you can't really claim anything. But that's okay. If these weren't burnt, I'd have to D-gun them twice. And more specifically, I'd have to wait till the burning animation was over before I could reclaim them. I kind of apologize for talking with a slightly gravelly voice. I actually lost my voice. See, that particular tree had to catch on fire before we get to actually reclaim it. Alright, let's go and build another metal. I'm going to build just another 2 solar panels. And then I'm going to build a K-bot lab right here. Yeah, but I would always like make fun of Let's Players for talking with gravelly voices, and I'm just like, well, why don't you just wait till later. You can crank down the speed, and I'm going to do that now. And I'm actually going to have a bank of 9 tidal generators. I'm going to build about 5 of them. Just because experience has taught me that 5 is a pretty good amount. As usual in these naval missions, you will have to reclaim lots of metal. So we will be building some metal storage units. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put the fifth one up here. And as you can see, we are already running low on metal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One thing you can just do, and this may seem wrong, but it's actually alright, go ahead and reclaim some of these units. You will need their metal just to build more metal, and that, that's short-term loss for a more permanent income level of metal. Crank the speed back up. This is such a long mission. I really don't want to bore you. I suppose I could stop it and resume it, but I think that kind of goes against my philosophy of doing Let's Plays. You should see the entire mission. Alright. Now that he's here, we are actually going to start building 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 separate metal makers. Now he's going to be constructing metal makers at the same time he's going to be making tattle generators, and sometimes if he goes faster than this guy you run out of energy, but remember you can just turn these guys on and off again. So that's another important thing to realize. We do have skeeters and they will need to be there for air defense purposes. I am going to go ahead and start building. Well, I actually need one more constructor. You're going to need ultimately about I don't want to name these guys. We want about 3 actual shipyards to construct ships, and then from there we can go on. You may wonder why don't I just build a shipyard and then have constructors aid in the construction. Well, for some reason when you have them guard, when you have the construction ship guarding the shipyard, while he's guarding it and helping construct units, you actually get in the middle of it, and it just becomes an icky situation. So I'm going to go ahead and build 2 more. Still have my commander reclaiming some of these units like the light laser towers. You will want these Jethros available to move so as to shoot down various air units. The thing about air units is it's actually a lot better to have them spaced out, anti-air units. That way one of them is facing them at all times. This says LOT under attack because my commander's reclaiming it, but it really isn't under attack. There is a geothermal vent here, and we will exploit it here in a second, but that's kind of like our second phase. First phase here, once again, is just to go ahead and start building shipyards. 3 should do just fine. We will want lurkers. These are our submarines because they will be able to take out the warlocks. Warlocks, if you remember from Beachhead on Thalassian and from Defense of Larab Harbor, have really great lasers on them, but they can't shoot underwater units. So you want underwater units to counter them. I can actually Control Z, select all of them, shoot. Oh, come on. Oh, freak. There's one submarine that patrols right about right here. Alright. Shoot. And there went all of my underwater attacking units. You will want a sizable amount of them. And already we are losing metal. And the thing for my commander can't really reclaim anything in this situation. So he's just going to have to sit there while we build things. My construction ship should be able to reclaim some of that. Ooh, if I can get that, that's 1,000. That'll be plenty enough. Sometimes when you reclaim some of these units, there's not much wreckage to reclaim. In fact, when the Crocs, that's the enemy amphibious tanks, invade and we shoot them down, you'll see that when you destroy them with depth charges, they leave wreckage to reclaim, but when you shoot them down with basic submarine torpedoes, there's not much metal to reclaim, and that's really no fun. I'm going to go ahead and put a sonar tower right there. Don't get hit. Don't attract enemy units. Because I know there's that one unit that keeps on patrolling that pier and I don't want to get line of sight, I'm going to have my lurker sit and wait in preparation for him. Man, we are losing metal. I mean, there's really not much that can be done about it. I don't want this guy, so I'm actually going to... See, my commander didn't really reclaim this LLT. Come on. Reclaim the dragon teeth. Okay, that helped. Now reclaim the LLT. With submarines, a lot of the naval combat is pretty deadly. I mean, it's almost like 1-to-1. If you have 5 and they have 4, you're going to end up with only 1 unit left. It's just an odd situation the way that works out. Tell these guys to kind of be in preparation. Jethros, don't walk into the burning trees. Skeeters, help out. Provide cover. If you can provide like a little basic triangle, that way when units come in and come out, they get hit, it's actually a lot better. Another thing that's kind of better is to actually have your units use the actual radar to sort of predict where the enemy unit's going to come in. That didn't quite work out. Come on, reclaim that ranger. Okay. Whew. Attack him. You do really want to be proactive about killing these various submarines. Just to be proactive with them. Oh yeah, there will be one small unit of Crusaders attacking. They do have depth charges. You should be able to get most of them off with your various lurkers. Luckily, they left plenty of metal for me to reclaim. Because they move so fast, just like your units move fast, it can be difficult to really attack them evenly. So as you can see, my lurker fleet isn't doing so hot, but it's kind of a 1-to-1 thing. It's your units versus their units, and they start out with more than you do. Alright, we are losing metal, but we can't yet afford to build much else. Sometimes a commander will say reclamation failed, but he really did get it. He really did reclaim what he needed to reclaim. Okay. Get up, Commander. I said this before, although I did a mispronunciation of it. I said when you're a unit. But when your commander is underwater, you do want to make sure he's not approached by any unit that has depth charges. Because depth charges do a lot of damage. So you want to just make sure he's always near land. Okay. I can kind of proceed with phase 2 here. I'm going to have my commander go to the other island and start constructing an actual geothermal vent. He should get done real soon. After he's done constructing or helping to construct the geothermal vent, I'm going to have both of my construction K-bots at the same time build an additional 16 metal. As usual, whenever you're attacked by air, space your air units out, or your anti-air units out. We actually got an actual bomber. Okay, I think the worst is over as regards to those bombers and air units. Alright, I'm going to have going to have one of my constructors reclaim that and then build 2 more sonar detectors. That way we can see when the crocs, those amphibious tanks, are going to invade. Alright, so once again, I apologize for my kind of scratchy voice. Well, I mean, right on cue, there are the crocs. Shoot. Guys, invade. Keep on moving. Oh, we're actually getting attacked by a lot of submarines right now. Alright. I can kind of see the crocs about to invade. Okay, once again, I want to just set fire to this island. Make sure my commander's not in it for too long. Wow, that is a lot of tanks. One thing you can do is you can actually just build, not many, but really just one, what is that thing called? Torpedo launcher, and that'll actually nab most of the units. Alright, let's go ahead and start killing them all. I mean, they're not that difficult to kill. Oh, do they actually have depth charges? I never knew they had depth charges. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm still... Ouch. Commander. Could you kill these guys? I mean, it's not a big deal as long as they don't get to your main island. Jeez. Well, at least my commander's near most of the wreckage. Okay, that's all of them. I am hurting a little bit in the anti-air area. Nope. Well, that'll do. It'll be a while before they can really hurt my commander in any significant sense. I just need to clear off this island. I'm being tired of them though, so I'm going to send my skeeters out to provide some anti-air cover. Alright, got this island clear. I'm going to go ahead and build a K-bot lab. I don't have any metal, that's a shame. Maybe I can get this guy to reclaim most of the metal. See, what happens is the aircraft disappear off screen, so you want to kind of keep them on screen for as long as possible. That way you can kind of... There. Alright, who's invading? Attack. Ooh, there's the actual warlords. I called them warlocks, didn't I, the last time? They are warlords. They take a few hits, but I mean, you can get them pretty easy. These missile turrets love to hang out in the background. Alright, time to build a geothermal vent. I'm actually going to reclaim this because I don't need it. Geothermal vent won't take very long to build. I'm going to go ahead and tell one of these constructors start building 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to have the other one. Where's the other one, by the way? Build another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to have him assist and have him reclaim the metal. Slow mission. Lots to do, but it's just a slow mission. That shipyard is smoking because it's pretty much dead. Alright, you will need a whole lot of lurkers for this mission, so go ahead and start building those lurkers. This one would build a lurker, but each time it built one, the warlord shot it down, so it actually used up its queue building up fake warlords. Luckily in this game, when you build a unit, you don't have to pay for it beforehand, you pay for it while it's being built. So it's not as though we lost a whole lot. Alright. Well, my commander's doing pretty good. I'm going to have him actually come up to these islands and start reclaiming some of this metal. And you, attack. Okay. I am going to go ahead and cancel those currently being built and just have 10 more being built. Alright, so at this point in the mission I usually do some sort of social commentary, so I think I will do some commentary. This is it. This is my commentary for tonight. Government should not recognize religion in any way, not for taxation purposes or for education purposes like vouchers and scholarship tax credits. And the reason I say that is because what you call religious and what you call unreligious is its own form of discrimination. There used to be this pro-life license plates in North Carolina. People objected to them saying they were religious. But I mean, they're not religious. I mean, there are plenty of people who are non-religious and are pro-life. There are people who are religious and are not pro-life. There's really not much correlation there for it to say it's religious or non-religious. They just didn't like it. Which you can say, you know, government should be making messages, but government, I mean, it's going to make a message anyway. You know, and what about a cross? And after 24 years of litigation, the Mount Soledad cross was removed. And, you know, if you go to a cemetery and you see a cross over a graveside, is that inherently religious? I don't know. I imagine there are plenty of people that use the cross on their cemeteries and don't think of it as being particularly religious. So that's another issue. You know, what about the Ten Commandments in the courtroom? It's kind of difficult to say because the Ten Commandments aren't uniquely of one religion. There's plenty of religions that make mention of the Ten Commandments. There we go. Oh, barely got them. And they're not necessarily proselytizing. And you know, I like it when Justice Samuel Alito pointed out, what about the commemorative Imagine stone in Central Park? You know, with the Beatles, John Lennon specifically. I guess he wasn't with the Beatles at that point. Is the Imagine statue inherently religious? How do you know? You know, it isn't. You know, what about the 7 aphorisms that don't actually make mention of any religious deity, although they do derive from aliens, apparently. You know, and what defines a religion? Not all religions are supernatural, and it seems like if you say, or this is religious, so it gets tax-exempt status, but this isn't religious, it's always bound to be a subjective thing, obviously. But more specifically, it's kind of discriminatory. I'm going to go ahead and build one advanced shipyard right now. They're bombing my commander, that's funny. I'm not going to do too much damage on him. As long as I focus on him and not my skeeters. Whoa. Okay, well, maybe they are about to kill me. Once you're underwater, they really can't bomb you. He auto-heals, auto-regenerates. Anyway, you know, and it's funny because the government itself always violates church and state whenever it's convenient to. And when it's not convenient to, they say, oh, we can't do that. That violates church and state. But when it's convenient for them to break it, they suddenly change their mind. They're like, yeah, you can break it. And so a classic example of that is religious schools. And back in the early days of special education, you couldn't send kids who had disabilities to religious schools because, let's say they were deaf. The deaf translator sponsored by government money would be transmitting the messages of that religious institution. And then later on, they kind of remove that, especially with charter schools. Now there's lots of charter schools that are religious schools that can get government money. So it's one of those issues where at first it was considered bad, don't give money to religious schools, and then they changed their mind. Well, yeah, I guess you can. And it's that sort of flip-flopping that really gets me. It's also not enforced evenly. Just like when you decide what churches can and cannot do to retain their tax-exempt status, churches are not supposed to endorse political candidates. And yet there are plenty of churches that do and get away with it, and there are a lot of churches that do and don't get away with it. And it seems to be that those liberal churches often get away with it, and those conservative churches don't. And it's just funny how it's like, it's a terrible thing when a conservative congregation has a pastor that says something very conservative, but a liberal congregation, it's not a big thing. And even then, I mean, you know who they're saying. Like if you have a very conservative pastor saying we're going to vote our values, you know who he's going to vote for. You can, as long as he doesn't say the name specifically, it's all right. But it's like, well, we all know who they're talking about. All right, when these 5 are done, we should be able to make a clean sweep all the way around. Anyway, so I have the solution to it, to the discrimination of, some institutions getting tax-exempt status, others don't. Some get away with saying political message, others don't. And the solution is this: don't recognize religion. Not for tax-exempt purposes, not for any purposes at all. We don't know what religion is. We can't define it. I think it's often pecuniary and arbitrary and just mean-spirited as to when government can give money and can't give money. It's always going to be stilted. Anyway, just don't recognize it. So that's my viewpoint. In the Constitution, the First Amendment, it says government shall not make a law respecting the establishment of religion. To me, that means also that government shouldn't say what is religious and what isn't religious. And I know it can be tricky, and it's silly. It's like, well, can there be prayer at football games? Yeah, there can, as long as it isn't led by the faculty. And then it became, yeah, it can as long as they don't use the PA system. And then it became none at all, and then it went back and forth. We're going to need 2 Millenniums to actually engage in some long-range bombardment. I'm going to go ahead and build a radar tower on this island so we can pound this island up here. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say about religion is, we really shouldn't recognize it. And really, schools should not be letting out their services or their spaces for anything. If you have a school that opens up its doors so a church can meet in it every weekend, I think that's wrong because the purpose of the school is not to do anything else but to have school. That's really it. All right, we got all the metal we need for now, I believe. We will be running low on metal. That's okay. How close are we done? We only got 3 more, and then we should be good. All right, we're actually making pretty good time. Like I said before, this is a long mission. There is an island up here at the very top. We got to be careful that when we bombard it, we do not destroy the gate at the top, because that's what we need to capture. There's a whole bunch of units on an island right here. Once we have these 2 Millennium ships built, what we're going to do is we're just going to come around and freak. That didn't last long. We're actually going to have the Millennium battleships attack the sides. I'm actually going to have these guys split up into 2 groups. Shoot. Shoot. Guys, quickly, go, now. You, land, now. This isn't so bad that they've aggroed my commander, because they're not really making much progress. Freak. That was a stupid move. No, it wasn't. I mean, I really didn't need to get a solar panel and to get metal built. Alright, with this last cohort of lurkers, we should be alright. Remember that ground units cannot attack lurkers, and submarines cannot attack ground units. So basically, we will just be attacking naval units, specifically the warlords on top. And I am going to wait till this last group are done. You know, the generation I grew up in was that generation where it was like that big deal when that Alabama judge put the Ten Commandments in his courthouse, and it was a big kerfuffle, and some people said it was blatantly wrong. Other people were like, I don't know, is it? It's hard to say. And you know, it's not like all the commandments recognize God. You know, many of them don't. Do not steal. You know, do not lie. Do not covet. Many of them aren't inherently religious. Okay, I'm going to say this group is group 1. And this group as well. I'm holding down shift to select various other groups. It's going to be group 2. You people that don't have a unit are going to still be group 1. Alright. No other way to do this except to just charge. Just charge. I said not discharge, but just charge. Just go in there. I'm going to give the plus shoot all command. That way they target about everything they can. You will lose plenty of boats here. As you can see, you will get fire from far off and away places that you don't know why they're shooting at you for, and you don't know what you're being shot at from. They're going in front of the island, so this part, if you look at this mini map in the upper left hand corner, this top part is the main island. That's what we're trying to go around. This is the big island in the middle that has other units on it. There are occasional, as you can see, they are always making units. It's one of those missions where it isn't just like, those are defensive torpedo launchers. This isn't a mission where it's obvious what's going on, that it's just a couple of units that are attacking you every now and then. There are units being built. These guys are difficult because they're just a long ways away. The thing about lurkers is that since they are so fragile, they don't do well in groups. And you really got to make sure they keep on moving, because they will get on top of each other. I mentioned before in another video that the way the rally points work is it's better to make them go up in a column than go right, because then they sort of advance right in a column. Warlords cannot hit you as long as you are underwater, which is I want them in the water. There's a whole lot of aircraft there on that map. Some of them are underwater, which is why these lurkers are shooting at them. If you're below a certain elevation, your lurkers will shoot at them. Alright, I think we've actually cleared most of that. I should have 2 Millennium. Did I actually build 2 or just 1? Because I just built 1, didn't I? Because I'm a loser. That's alright. 1 Millennium is actually enough. Make sure you have it to hold position and go ahead and start attacking. I'm going to instruct my mine units to go ahead and attack whatever that unit is. No, we have to. Okay. Hold position. Start attacking the closest thing to you. Commander, you hold position where you're at. You stay here. These Millenniums will get within range of these land units, even though they're not supposed to. And no matter how much you instruct them not to, they will. Also, they will usually just take weird positions to attack the smallest thing. So if this were a more populated map, you'd have to really worry about it. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Another way to play this mission is to build lots of Crusaders, but Crusaders wouldn't be able to have swept over all around the island as easy. So, you know, the purpose of a Let's Play is not a speed run. I would say that right off the bat. If you're looking for a speed run, this is not a speed run. This is not how I would do a speed run. This is actual doing it as best as I would know how. Go ahead and start building some constructors. Once this map is cleared, I mean, it should be pretty good for your commander to land on it and start building some stuff. He will want to actually start bombarding this part right here and build a radar tower so you can see what's over there. There's a little bit of a beachhead, but make sure you don't pelt too much on the island itself, because like I said before, you will need to make sure you don't hit the gate. The gate's almost exactly in the middle of the island. And if I actually destroyed that gate while playing this mission, I'd be very upset. But, you know, such is the nature of life, and sometimes you do make mistakes. Alright, I'm going to go and instruct my commander to go ahead into the island and build a radar tower. He should be able to destroy most of these remaining units, if there are any remaining. Alright. I'm going to have my lurkers come along this side of the beach. You also need a fair amount of, and I didn't think of this before, a fair amount of skeeters. They do need to provide some anti-air cover for your Millenniums. Okay. It's nice to destroy this island because it's sort of in the way. There's plenty of things on the island to destroy, in fact. The Millenniums have terrible pathfinding. It just takes them a long time to find good angles. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're trying to find an angle. And it just takes them a long time. I don't know what it is about them. These lurkers are kind of shoot themselves. They were actually pound the pavement, pound the coast, and they were actually shoot themselves. As you can already see by the number of dead lurkers, there went another one, that have kind of shot themselves. In the interest of not seeing things shoot themselves, I'm going to go ahead and tell them to stop. There are some devastating defenses here. They really get in the way. There we go. Alright, go ahead and start pounding the main island. Now you gotta be real careful for a few reasons. There are a lot of very advanced air units. Shoot, what are you attacking? What are you attacking? What are you attacking? Okay. Did it get my other Millennium? No, it did not. Just didn't get that signal. He actually did a lot of damage. Over half killed him. let's go ahead to this island. Alright, now that we have most of those guys in place, I'm going to go ahead and let my skeeters come in and use anti-air. My Millennium is actually being attacked by ground units on the actual island. I'm going to go ahead and actually construct another Millennium, just in case. Yeah, one of my Millenniums is gone. Such is life. Alright, there's some very powerful units, defense units on the side of the island that you need to destroy before you can really do much else. I'm going to go ahead and have my commander establish a beachhead and construct a K-Bot lab. It's going to be a little bit tricky to do, but it can be done. And by that I mean it's going to be a little bit tricky to ensure his safety. If he starts to get hit, I'm going to have to just that didn't last very long. Who did that? Is there something right here I need to destroy? I think that did it, actually. Alright. D-gun it. I don't want it in the way. I don't care if it's metal. I just need to get where I need to get. Okay. Ooh. Surprise. I'm glad that Sentinel didn't get me if it actually was almost within range to get me. Alright, right, pause. Hold fire. I also need to reissue the shoot all command, because if they get within sight of the actual galactic gate, what will happen is that I said guard it, I didn't say I want you to move around it. What will happen is they will shoot that gate. Another defense unit I want to build. Alright, it's not going to take my commander long to get my Roccos out and about and securing this island. Like I said, this is a long mission, and I've seen other people do Let's Plays of it where they've just completely failed. But, I mean, you need tons of metal makers, you need tons of energy, you need tons of units, and I use tons of lurkers, submarines. I use Millenniums to pound them from afar, and now that I've actually arrived on the island, I'm just going to use some Roccos to clear out the competition. Not going to be easy. I'm actually going to want to move my my Millennium to about right here, so he can still shit at any defenses, and there are still some defenses on the island. In a lot of multiplayer games, it's kind of funny. They'd actually have a plane fly overhead. Someone would pause the game right as the plane flew ahead, and then order attacks. Okay. I don't really have anything to defeat a lot of these air units with. Reapers are a lot of trouble. Okay, there's... Shoot, see, now I don't even have eyesight on it. That's why it's good to get near it. But for these purposes, I'm actually just come right up on it. Man, my units are really not doing so hot. Keep on cranking them out, buddy. Shoot. No, I wanted Crusaders. Crusaders, you guys come up close. Okay. keep on running to those darn lurkers. Okay. The island is secure. Except for that one guy still hitting me. Alright, we're good. I'm glad I turned off that shoot all command. What are they? They're firing at. Do I have any skeeters left that I can deploy at all? I may not. Here they are. Hopefully they can actually provide some decent air cover. Man, this is a long mission. I mean, I fret when I think of how big this file size is going to be. Whew. Frig, that was a long mission. Alright. We are done with Thalassian, and now we're at Tangiverse 4. Go ahead and save it. It's after 8. Thank you for joining me, and please join me next time when we go on to Tangiverse 4. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play Annihilation. I hope you have a great night. Hope to see you next time. Bye.